words to skim for, as they stand out from the rest of the text. So pay attention, teach your students to be very attentive to numbers or years. Example, which of the following best describes the influence of Monet's work in the 20th century? What is your keyword? 20th century. So 20th contains numbers and will easily stand out from the rest of the text. Use 20th as the keyword to skim for in the passage. After this seminar, probably you can take IELTS and you'll get good score. Sometimes a choice will repeat word for word a portion of the passage near the answer. However, beware of such duplication. It may be a trap. More than likely, the correct choice will paraphrase or summarize the related portion of the passage, rather than being exactly the same wording. So be careful also. If the answer choice or choices, or the choice, has a repeated line, that is not the answer. Because the answer should be in a paraphrased form. They won't, IELTS writers are very intelligent. They won't give that as a bonus.
Exactly.
Some questions will not have a keyword. Example, which of the following would the author of this passage likely agree with? In these cases, look for the keywords in the answer choices. Then skim the passage to find where the answer choice occurs. By skimming to find where to look, you can minimize the time required. What was it again? Some questions will not have a keyword. Some questions don't have keywords. So, look for keywords in the answer choices. If the question has no keyword, then go to the choices. And then if you find that keyword in the choice, then go back to the passage. And for second language learners, this is really difficult because you are going up and down the paper test questions. Paragraph focus. Focus upon the first sentence of each paragraph, which is the most important. The main topic of the paragraph is usually there. The main topic of the paragraph is there. The main topic of the entire passage can be found in the first paragraph. Lines, the first lines of every paragraph, right? As I mentioned earlier. Once you read the first sentence in the paragraph, you have a general idea about each paragraph will be about. Example, the first paragraph is about poets. The second is about poetry. If a question asks about poetry, where will the answer be? Second paragraph. Good students. Eliminate choices. Some choices can quickly be eliminated. Example, Andy Warhol lived there. Is Andy Warhol even mentioned in the article? If not, quickly eliminate that choice. The passage indicates all of the following except. This one is very common to test. The passage indicates all of the following except. If the reference exists, scratch it off, right? Obviously, because the word except is the key word there. In choices that ask you to choose which answer choice does not describe, or all of the following answer choices are identifiable characteristics, except which, look for answers that are similarly worded. Since only one answer can be correct, if there are two answers that appear to mean the same thing, they must both be incorrect and can be eliminated. Example, changing values and attitudes. A large population of mobile or uprooted people. So you can eliminate these two because they are not the answers. According to my source, some books are suggesting elimination but in the wrong way. So there's a good way of doing elimination which I'll share with you later. Contextual clues. An answer can be right but not correct. Do you get that? An answer can be right but not correct. The contextual clues will help you find the answer that is most right and is correct. Understand the context in which a phrase is stated. Example, why was John described as morally disparate? The answer will probably have some sort of definition of morals in it. Morals refers to a code of right and wrong behavior. So the correct answer choice will likely have words that mean something like that. Okay? So be careful. Not all that you think is right is correct. I trained a priest who's going to Canada. He's going to take IELTS. In the test, in the mock test that he took, there was a question. When your hotel room phone is now working, which number to call? 0 for operator, 1 for kitchen, 2 for example. Then he did not answer the question and talked to me. Ace, I think there's something wrong with this question. I said, why? What's wrong with the question? Why would I call someone if my phone is, if there's something wrong with my phone in the hotel? You see, sometimes people are really, we use so much of our brain. We argue with a test. It does not mean that your phone is working, you can't use other phones. Though it's not given there, but it does not also mean that you can't use other phones. So that's also a kind of trick in the test. It's not part of contextual clues, I just remember. Fact or opinion. When asked about which statement is a fact or opinion, remember that answer choices that are facts will typically have no ambiguous words. Ambiguous words. For example, how long is a long time? What defines an ordinary person? These ambiguous words of long and ordinary should not be in a factual statement. So if the question asks for a fact or opinion answer, then that is not your option. Make predictions. Quickly scan the choices and see if your prediction is in the listed answer choices. If it is, then you can be quite confident that you have the right answer. We are good at predicting, and you have to teach your students how to do that. Something besides prediction. Tag-an, yes. Meaning, tag-anon sa nimo. While reading, magtag-an na ka. Answer the question. Don't pick an answer just because it sounds right or you believe it to be true. It must answer the question. Okay? As simple as that. Answer the question. Sometimes, not sometimes, most of the time in the questions, in the choices, they'll put their detractors, pampalibog. But it doesn't mean that's correct. You have to go back to the question, and if it does not answer the question, even though it's there, then that's wrong. Benchmark. After you read the first answer choice, decide if you think it sounds correct or not. If it doesn't, move on to the next answer choice. Comparing. My choice is A. What is A and B? B is, I think, better answer, so I'll go for B. And so on and so forth until you find what you think is the right answer. And I'll tell you why it's like that later. New information. Correct answers will usually contain the information listed in the paragraph and question. Rarely will completely new information be inserted into a correct answer choice. If there is a new information in the choice, one of the choices, don't choose that as the answer. That's not the right answer, because choices should not be, you should not find their new information, because the information can be found from the passage, right? Time management. In technical passages, do not get lost on the technical terms. Skip them and move on. You want a general understanding of what is going on, not a mastery of the passage. Okay? You are not reading the passage for mastery. Special technical terms. So skip and move. Move on to the next question or next passage. Word usage questions. When asked how a word is used in the passage, don't use your existing knowledge of the word. The question is being asked precisely because there is some strange or unusual usage of the word in the passage. Okay? So word usage. We know a particular meaning of this word, and then when we answer the question, and that's the first that we saw, then we pick that. Because it's the meaning. Don't do that. Check the rest of the choices, because there's a particular usage of that word that's in there. And many students, this is their problem, because they have limited vocabulary. So they would choose what is in their head, which is oftenly wrong. In the test, normally test writers would write there the most common definition, but that's not the right answer. Because you thought that's common and that's the right answer, then you're in the trap. Switch back words. This one, I was a victim of this. Stay alert for switchbacks. These are the words frequently used to alert you to shifts in thought. The most common is but. Others, although, however, nevertheless, on the other hand, even though, while, in spite of, despite, regardless of, these are switchback words. They often changes the answer. For example, the test that I took before, it states there that person A loves to go to Australia, but parents suggested to go Canada. So what is the final decision of person A? Australia or Canada? Canada, because of the but, right? So it negates the sentence. So you see, be careful with that switchback words. And a lot of in the testing systems, they use this as a trick.
A lot of times.
Yes, a lot of times. Be careful with that. Avoid fact traps. Once you know which paragraph the answer will be, focus on that paragraph. However, don't get distracted by a choice that is factually true about the paragraph. Always go back to the question and make sure you're choosing an answer that actually answers the question and is not just a true statement. You see, sometimes because we found a statement that is in the passage, we think this is the right answer. But it does not answer the question. So facts does not translate to good answer. It's just a trap. So why are we talking about this? When you are teaching IELTS to your students, you are just merely practicing them. But the question there is, when your students say, why, teacher? That's always the problem. When student starts answering why, and why, you cannot just say, because at the back of the book there's the answer key. And it says, that's the answer. Yes. When I taught TOEFL before to a Korean manager, it was my first time. I was asked why this one and not why A is the right answer and not B. And then I paused for a few seconds. Then I checked the answer key because it's in the answer key.
There's a word for that, kunyang, which means basta.
Yeah. Gunyang. That was my answers before because I don't know how to answer that question. Now, with these strategies, you can answer your students. You see, when you skim and scan, it's a fact, it's an opinion, you now have reasons
You
that you can use.
It's a switch backwards.
Yes, correct.
What's that, teacher? Let's proceed. Time is essence.
Yes, that's true. Writing module. Writing is one difficult task. Task 1, you have 2 tasks in writing. Task 1, a diagram or table will be presented to you and you must write out approximately 150-word discussion on it within approximately 20 minutes. You must evaluate the diagram or table, organize your ideas, and develop them into a cohesive and coherent explanation. 150 words, 20 minutes. Task 2, a topic will be presented to you and you must write out approximately 250 words within approximately 40 minutes. There is not a correct answer to the topic. You must evaluate the topic, organize your ideas, and develop them into a cohesive and coherent response. You will be scored on how well you are able to utilize standard written English. Organize and explain your thoughts and support those thoughts with reasons and examples. Did you get that? When I took the IELTS 2 years ago, the first